Hello, I'm Annette Young and welcome to the 51%, a show about women reshaping our world. Coming up, while eastern Senegal is experiencing a gold rush, the mining boom has seen an explosion in prostitution, with a rise in Nigerian women being trafficked into the region. Also, how the American transgender community is being targeted by US President Donald Trump as he rolls out a series of policies, including a controversial ban on trans individuals serving in the military. And we meet India's Green Army, a group of women helping to regenerate a mangrove forest near Kolkata in the hope it will also help to protect their homes. But we begin in Senegal, where the far eastern region of Kédougou is experiencing a gold rush, attracting thousands of gold miners from across West Africa. Yet as a result of the mining boom, the region has also seen a massive surge in human trafficking. In particular, hundreds of Nigerian women who've been forced into prostitution near mining sites, as our team on the ground report.
Tonight, Officer Fai and his team are on their way to Bantako, one of the biggest gold mining villages in the region. For several weeks, the team, part of the police division specialised in combating human trafficking, has been working with a local informant to investigate a Nigerian madam, allegedly forcing several young women into prostitution.
It's very difficult to detect cases of trafficking. The victims don't report it. The population doesn't cooperate. Hence the importance of these informants.
After an hour on the road, the team arrives at the given location. According to intel from their informant, a madam and trafficked women should be inside.
No one talk, please. Now, police.
Inside, they find the alleged madam, two women hiding in the bathroom, and a third prostitute, all Nigerian nationals. The police also discover forged papers, the sign of involvement by known local criminal networks.
These cards are made by other members of the criminal networks as they pass through Cotonou. Then when they arrive in Senegal, they get these consular cards.
The landlord and the woman suspected of trafficking are arrested, and the search continues. With the aim of finding concrete evidence to support the case.
Among the items seized are these notebooks. The girls you see here prostitute themselves and pay the income from their prostitution to their boss on a daily basis. And this is mentioned in these notebooks, up to the sum of 1.5 or 2 million.
The cost of the trip leaves the girls with a debt of 2,500 to 3,000 euros. A huge sum in a region where the price for sex is often as low as 5 euros. Both women rescued by the police and those who fled their captors are living in this house in the town of Kédougou, hosted by local NGO La Lumière. For security reasons, we've concealed their identities, but their testimonies map out a sprawling network of organised trafficking that leads back to Nigeria.
They told us we were going to be hairdressers or some other job, but that's not the reality. They lie to us. They take just the girls away to prostitute them.
Sunshine and her sister believed the promises, condemning them to months of horror on the gold mining sites.
I had nowhere to go, no one to turn to for help. And my boss, she forced us to prostitute ourselves. Every night she'd tell us to go and pay her back. And if we didn't, she threatened to put a curse on us.
La Lumière partners in Nigeria help reintegrate the women and raise awareness of the perils of trafficking. Every year, tens of thousands of Nigerian women are trapped and forced into prostitution in West Africa, Europe, and even Asia.
And since his re-election, President Donald Trump has declared an all-out war against what he calls woke culture, claiming that it's infiltrated university campuses across the US. He's also directly targeted the transgender community, recently announcing a raft of measures such as banning them from serving in the military. This as violence and daily humiliations against transgender people are on the rise. Jennifer Ben-Brahim has more.
On this Florida campus, 19-year-old Nina faces daily threats and insults for being transgender. Since Donald Trump's re-election, she does not feel safe.
It's very scary. When I go out in public, there's not a moment that I don't fear I'm gonna get attacked. People look at me weird everywhere I go. People stare at me, people whisper about me, people call me things like tranny, faggot.
In Florida and several other states, legislation has come into force prohibiting transgender people from using public bathrooms consistent with their gender identity. But Nina has decided to ignore the law.
The big issue is that legally now, trans people are not allowed to use the bathroom that they prefer to. Yeah, technically, if me using the women's bathroom, I'm acting illegally. I can be fined, I can be put in jail, I could be charged as a sexual offender. Despite it being a hot topic right now, it's kind of a form of resistance.
Since the US election, transgender people have been in President Donald Trump's firing line.
There are only two genders, male and female.
The debate has also been heating up in the corridors of the Capitol building. This transgender Democratic lawmaker may no longer have the right to use a woman's bathroom. And during a House hearing, her Republican colleague deliberately misgendered her.
The representative from Delaware, Mr. McBride.
To the horror of her fellow Democrat.
Mr. Chairman, have you no decency?
Yes,
you will not continue it with me unless you introduce a duly elected representative the right way.
This hearing is adjourned.
Recently, the Trump administration even requested that all transgender individuals be discharged from the military. Bree Farm, a transgender woman and colonel who served in Iraq, could soon lose her position at the Pentagon.
Honestly, I was sad for the country and what that represents. We have proven for nearly a decade that we are able to meet every standard, that we have flown our nation's most advanced combat aircraft, that we have commanded ships at sea. That evidence that transgender people have met or exceeded every standard is critically important.
Several lawsuits against Trump's decision are still in the hands of the courts. The attacks are not just legal, but physical. In 2024, 32 people were killed in the United States because of their transgender identity. As a result, many have chosen to seek protection.
The one that I'm going to be carrying most of the time is going to be, of course, a handgun. It's just easier. I don't tend to carry on my person. It's mostly in my car.
Vi and Maeve are two transgender women. Vi began to look into firearms 2 years ago because of the political climate. She had never fired a gun before.
Hinge your hips so you're leaning just a little bit forward instead of having your legs locked and your hips straight.
Today, self-defense has become a necessity.
If somebody decides that I should be dead, I don't want them to have the right to take my life. I don't want to be harmless. If I can defend myself, then I can be peaceable, and my peace means something.
They think that we are an existential threat to them. We're not, and fear it causes people to behave in ways that are extremely unfortunate.
Since the start of the year, 83 new laws have been passed in the US, aimed at restricting the rights of the transgender community.
And finally, a look now at a female-led initiative in one of the areas hardest hit by natural disasters in the world, India's eastern border with Bangladesh. In a national park near Kolkata, the effects of climate change have prompted hundreds of women to save the mangrove forests, which should protect their homes. Olivia Salazar-Winspear reports.
Here on the border between India and Bangladesh, the Ganges Delta stretches out like a thick carpet of greenery. This is Sundarbans, the world's largest mangrove forest. The region's under threat from cyclones and rising water levels, which are accelerating coastal erosion. Vishakha Tarafdar is 40 years old. She's spent half of her life here and has seen how the rivers steadily encroached upon her village, almost submerging it.
This is where my house was.
There's nothing left of the mud house where she lived with her husband and 3-year-old daughter.
Before, our land stretched until there. Now, it's all slowly disappearing. When I see these natural disasters happening here, I realize that it's very dangerous to stay. It scares us. But we want to find a way to survive. Where else can we go?
Vishaka knows that any chances of survival are entwined with the mangrove, which acts as a natural barrier protecting the coast from erosion. Now, hundreds of women from the region have got together to take care of this precious ecosystem.
Put the plants in there.
They've even been given a nickname, the Green Army, thanks to the colour of their saris. The group's taken it upon themselves to replant uprooted parts of the mangrove like this bank, recently damaged by a cyclone.
Plant it here.
They're putting in 250 saplings of rhizophora, or red mangrove trees.
Red mangrove has big roots, which grow in the water. As it grows, its roots take hold in the earth and strengthen the bank, and that protects us from erosion.
During her 10 years working with the Green Army, Vishaka has helped plant some 60,000 trees, and their efforts have restored whole swathes of the mangrove forest.
Of course, we're always worried about natural disasters. But when we see the mangrove in good health, like this, we do feel better. These trees are like our children. We saw them when they were tiny and we've helped them grow.
With every tree they plant, these women are also sowing the seeds of a more sustainable future for their families and for this part of the world.
And that's it for this edition, so until our next show, bye for now.